This is the WJTS News. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Joey Rehl reporting. The Jasper Street Department, along with contractor Pavement Solutions, will begin a pavement preservation and microsurface project on Thursday, October 13th at approximately 8 a.m. All vehicles must be removed from the affected streets and out of driveways should residents intend to leave throughout the day of surfacing to their street. These streets will be closed during this process and travel will not be allowed on these streets being processed. The street being processed should, however, reopen each evening depending on drying conditions. All residents will be notified via a door hanger the day prior to their street being processed. There will be a lot of switching from street to street as drying conditions and traffic flow will be continually assessed. The following streets will not necessarily be processed in the order as listed. The project streets that will be affected will be Energy Drive, and that will be all of Energy Drive, all of Westview Courts, all of Valley View Drive, Rolling Ridge Road from West 15th to Valley View Drive, all of Lube Way, all of Test Drive, all of Summit Street, Kaywood Lane from 2nd Street to Summit Street, Marbury Street will be all of it, and all of Daffodil Courts and Daffodil Lane. This project shall proceed daily until completed, barring inclement weather or any other unforeseen events. The Indiana Department of Health, or the IDOH, is making $7.5 million in grants available as part of a second round of funding through the Health Issues and Challenges Grant Program, which was established by the Indiana General Assembly in 2021 with funding from the American Rescue Plan Act. Entities are eligible to apply for funding for programs to help improve health outcomes related to one or more of the following priority areas: tobacco cessation, food insecurity and obesity, lead exposure, chronic disease and public health prevention programs, including community paramedicine and community health workers. Priority will be given to organizations that can demonstrate a high need and high impact in their grant proposals. Applications are open now and must be submitted by November 18th. The application and grant guidance are available at in.gov/health/grant opportunities. Award notifications are expected to be coming in early 2023. The Indiana Health Issues and Challenges Grant is a $50 million program designed to address health issues that impact Indiana. House Enrolled Act 1007 charged the Indiana Department of Health in collaboration with the Family and Social Services Administration with developing and administering a grant program to prevent or reduce the prevalence of mental and physical health issues for Hoosiers. More than $35 million was awarded through the first round of funding in June for programs addressing issues such as asthma, cancer prevention, heart disease, diabetes, lead prevention, food insecurity and obesity, community health workers, and community paramedicine. All funds that are received must be spent by December 31st of 2026. You can visit the Indiana Department of Health at statehealth.in.gov for important health and safety information, or follow them on Twitter at statehealthin, and you can find them on Facebook at facebook.com/statehealthin. Halloween pumpkin spice football. Fall is finally upon us. But costume parties and football rivalries are not the only things for which we need to prepare. Falling leaves and colder temperatures are making their appearance as well. With these changes come driving hazards more unique to autumn than other times of the year. According to the Institute of Highway Safety, autumn typically brings a sharp increase in the amount of car versus animal insurance claims, most of those being deer. These claims usually peak in the month of November and decrease through December and January. Wet leaves, colder temperatures, and an increase in rainfall also add to the mix. Your friends at the Indiana State Police Post in Sellersburg would like to remind you of these tips as you navigate our changing roadways. Wet leaves can be slippery, and as an ice-covered roadway, drive slowly on leaf-covered roads and avoid hard braking. Also, don't forget that leaves can obscure lane and roadway markings, so make sure to pay attention to the edge of the roadway and stay in your lane. Wet roads are slippery and may lead to hydroplaning. Increase your following distance and don't use cruise control. If it's foggy, use your low beams or fog lights and avoid using high beams. Bridges and overpasses, any roadway not in direct contact with the ground can freeze quickly. Morning frost can leave icy patches, and shaded areas may remain icy after other parts of the roadway are dry. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, there are approximately 1.5 million deer vehicle collisions each year. According to insurance industry statistics, Indiana usually ranks in the middle of all 50 states and was 24th in 2021 in car versus animal crashes. In 2021, the odds for a car-animal crash were 1 in 100. West Virginia typically tops the charts with the odds at 1 in 37. When it comes to our four-legged friends, buckle up. Sudden stops from a collision or even hard braking are common causes of injury. Your seatbelt is the best protection to help prevent you or your passengers from being harmed. Watch for signs. Deer crossing signs are there for a reason. Use caution when you see these signs, and remember that deer often travel in groups. If you see one, assume more are nearby. Don't forget to recruit your passengers to assist in looking for deer. What time it is? Deer are usually active at dawn and dusk as they look for food. This time of the year, it is also their migration and mating season, which is another reason they are more active. And don't swerve. If a crash is unavoidable, don't swerve to avoid hitting the deer. Not only could you swerve into the path of another car, but you could also lose control of your vehicle and possibly roll over. Brake firmly and stay in your lane. Studies show more serious crashes happen when we swerve to avoid an animal. If you've struck a deer and now wonder what to do, unfortunately, even if you have taken all the above precautions, sometimes crashes are unavoidable. If you do have a collision, remember to move your car off the roadway and call 911 or your nearest police agency. Typically, comprehensive insurance coverage will cover these crashes, so make sure to contact your insurance agent and, if possible, take photographs of your car and the animal. The race for Indiana Secretary of State is moving forward with no official debate in the books. Republican candidate Diego Morales was a no-show for last night's debate that was coordinated by the League of Women Voters of Indiana. Still, the Democratic candidate Destiny Scott Wells and the Libertarian candidate Jeff Maurer were present. Just before the debate, a representative for the League said Morales had not responded to their invitations to participate in the debate. The city of Bloomington is putting restrictions on electric scooters after the death of an Indiana University student. Starting this Thursday night, the scooters will only be accessible between 5 a.m. and 11 p.m. Around 2 o'clock in the morning on September 18th, 20-year-old Nathaniel Stratton, was hit by a suspected drunk driver near North Walnut and East 12th Streets. 22-year-old Madeline Howard was allegedly intoxicated and driving upwards of 50 miles per hour when she swerved into the bike lane and hit Stratton. Stay tuned. WJTS News will be right back with a check of weather, and then Kurt Guxell will be in with a look at sports.